The Legend of Hobo is a Minecraft cinematic project created in the later half of 2011, starting out as just a side project which unexpectedly garnered a large audience and essentially became an overnight success, leading it to become an ongoing series due to popular demand. However, the series was short-lived and had aired for barely a year after its first release. Long after its final airing, Bashur, the creator of the series, was then more known for his controversy after a resurfing of his past scandals, and as of 2021 had passed away at the young age of 36. This is the story of an unfinished and forgotten Minecraft series, The Legend of Hobo. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, thanks. The year is 2011. It was also at this time that Skyrim was set to release and Game of Thrones had just aired its first season. Although Minecraft was still in its infancy, it was already incredibly popular on the internet. I also remember being 11 at this time and watching my first Minecraft Let's Plays on YouTube. But anyways, the game was in beta, but updating relatively quickly with beta 1.7 as the latest update in the summer of 2011 with its cinematic in-game trailer done by Hatfilms. The Captain Sparkle's TNT Minecraft parody had just released earlier that year, and he was working on his soon-to-be biggest hit, Revenge. The Orcs cast were playing custom Minecraft maps, and the Shadow of Israfel series was at its peak and still growing. It was a really good year for Minecraft at the time. It was about to get even better with these two people who came along. Bashur and Ramus, who were filmmakers, were working on an indie film known as Heartland at the time, and were also big fans of the game and decided to do a side project making a Minecraft cinematic, combining their love for D&D, Elder Scrolls, and looking at other YouTubers as big inspirations. They wrote, filmed, and edited an epic tale which we now know as Episode 1 of The Legend of Hobo, released on the 23rd of July 2011. This video introduced the main character, Hobo, as he wanders through a forest and collects flowers until a strange voice greets him and sets him on fire. Of course, it's a little side project, so it was random but really funny. The video was well put together with several uses of cinematography, interesting camera techniques, remade textures, and even the use of shaders like the subtle moving grass. Of course, looking back with our current version of Minecraft, it doesn't seem like much, but this was way ahead of its time. A reminder that the hunger bar and sprinting weren't even in the game yet. Despite the somewhat simple looking side project, Bashur and Ramus had a rather sizable team for just their first video, as seen in the credits. Of course, the team later grows to be bigger for the future episodes. The video basically blew up overnight, as stated by Bashur himself in several interviews, specifically in the Shaft podcast, where they gained over 20,000 subscribers within 3 days after the first video released. This caught the attention of several Minecraft content creators. Some of these included In the Littlewood, also known as Martin, Bebop Vox, Hatfilms, and even Captain Sparkles. The video was even featured on Bebop Vox's Minecraft Monday show, alongside Captain Sparkles' biggest hit to date, Revenge, which is crazy to think now that they were both in the same video together. Being quickly adored by the community, the popularity quickly prompted them to continue working on it to turn their hit into a series. This is where the next episode was aired on the 1st of August of the same year, just a few weeks after the first, where it's a continuation of the fire spreading to the forest and Hobo panicking to put it out. Again, amazing camera work with a little on-set work to manually light blocks on fire as he runs along. We are introduced to Sheeper, who is actually hilariously vulgar for a sheep.
Whoa!
So Hobo tries his best to put out the fire with like a water bucket that just disappears. Kinda IRL realistic, but definitely not in-game realistic, which was a nice touch, I guess. And also the voice was talking a lot of nonsense and just spawns a load of creepers.
Let there be creepers! What the Bruh.
And it's only until episode 3, which is released on the 20th of August 2011, where it seems like the story actually begins, as like it says in the name of the episode, the end of a new beginning. We can obviously see that it's been planned out because it's from here on that episodes are longer than 10 minutes. The episode starts with Brown's farm, another introduced character, and Sheeper landing there from when he was blown up at Hobo's house. Then we cut to the aftermath of the forest fire and creeper explosions with absolutely clever use of snow for smoke effect with a light touch of ambers. And Hobo was sad because obviously man's house is gone and he thinks Sheeper is dead. Most of the episode is a dialogue between the voice, who looks like this by the way, and basically explains to Bashur to go on an adventure. Oh, and also Slimer. So there's a few videos in between episodes here which I think are quite important to mention. The best Minecraft video giveaway, released on September 12th, refers to a Minecraft forums contest. Apparently the community loved The Legend of Hobo so much that it was entered into a minecraftforums.net video contest by the hosts themselves without even letting the Bashurverse team know. From there, Legend of Hobo stood alongside videos at the time made by Corridor Digital and Crafted Movie and won by a landslide. And they got a Minecraft dirt block signed by Notch, as seen in the Shaft podcast.
We actually won this because the Minecraft forums had a
contest for the best Minecraft video, and we won like by a landslide.
Another notable video is the Kickstarter video for Minecon, released on the 25th of September of the same year, which is basically a promo video for the Kickstarter to go to Minecon 2011 and make a documentary about it named The Legend of Minecon. However, we can see that nothing came out of this, which I'll explain more after, but it was a relatively ambitious project and ended up becoming a failed Kickstarter, not being able to deliver their part to serve their fans. Episode 4 starts out with this banger of an opening song made by Victor Cepeda, and also this intro features cinematic shots of Hobo going on adventures with the strange voice and several question mark companions which will be revealed as new episodes come out. And we can see the flaw with this concept is that they have to re-record the intro every episode for every new companion that gets revealed, which spoilers, they stopped doing that after a while. We also see an in association with Cold Tools World on the opening sequence, which is the server hosting that Bashcraft uses for Legend of Hobo, and they're also given ultra special thanks in the credits, which I assume they have some kind of collaboration going on. Cold Tools World is a Minecraft server provider service as described in their defunct Twitter, where they did tag Bashur and promoted some of the Legend of Hobo episodes too. This is important because they play a large part later in the story. The episode was also composed and scored by Daniel Yont, who also scored Shadow of Israel, which is insane. Go check that out. The episode begins with this fortune teller magic oracle guy who sees Hobo in his crystal, then he makes this really long dash to warn his emperor. It was mostly awkward and dragged out jokes before the message actually gets to him, and they speak of archons from the darkness, who are apparently Hobo and the voice, and the Emperor sent a group of people to hunt them out. Meanwhile, Hobo and the gang make their way to a small crime-ridden town called Brist, where they come across a guy who literally explodes everyone at a chase scene, and they both get caught. End of episode. Also, this is the first time where we see some YouTubers and close friends of Bashur at the time being mentioned in their special thanks section in the credits. We see names like Bebop Modern, Captain Sparkles, and even the Syndicate project. Now, after episode 4 airs, one of the biggest events in Minecraft history took place in Las Vegas, Nevada, Minecon 2011. Several video trailers were done featuring big YouTubers like Hatfilms and the Yogscast. There were multiple vlogs from YouTubers like Bebop Vox, Hatfilms, and In the Littlewood, and Bashur was featured in many of said vlogs and interviews, but he himself didn't document like they said they were going to for their Kickstarter. Hatfilms, however, covered Minecon a lot, especially since they already worked with Mojang for Minecraft videos. Hatfilms have really done so much, and I'll definitely have their own video dedicated just to talk about them. But one of the more interesting interviews we see is the Hatfilms Bashcraft interview with Bashur and Ramus. Hatfilms, who are actually film students and are known for their cinematic trailers for Minecraft updates, really appreciated the cinematography, organization, production, and overall work put into The Legend of Hobo. It's a really good interview. I really recommend you check it out for yourself. It's linked in the description. From this interview, it's revealed to us that the team had already finished episode 5 and it's just premiered at the Cold Tools World booth before it's official released on YouTube. I searched it up and found Cold Tools World's pictures of Minecon are still there on their Facebook, and we can see Bashur and Ramus hanging out together with them. I also didn't notice, but Cold Tools World was one of Minecon's biggest partners, just below Xbox, which really shows how important Cold Tools World was to the community at the time and the impact they had working with Bashcraft. But a week after Minecon, episode 5 was released on their channel. The crew that was sent by the Emperor to find the supposed 2 Archons are flying an airship west, like the Oracle said to go, whilst the gang are still in a jail cell and Neville just digs their way out. Also, Yogscast reference.
I am Neville and I'm digging a hole. Diggy hole, digging a hole.
Once they break out, the guards found out they escaped and another chase scene starts, and they run their way into the Favorlock forest. They manage to hide and lose the guards, but there's some mysterious entities lurking in the forest that slowly takes out the guards, except this one guy that just steals his disguise and gets away with it, which gets to become its own spin-off series. So everyone loses the guards, but instead gets caught by the forest entities, who turns out to be the locals of the Pumpkin Pygmy village who live on the trees. Hobo and the gang were also locked up together with one of the brisk guards named Scott. After some comedic dialogue, Hobo manages to just shake apart the flimsy cage they were kept in and gets confronted by the villagers. Also, the villagers sound like this. So the villagers basically make them go through some trial in a temple or something, and the episode ends with one of them shooting an arrow in them for whatever reason. I don't know. Now, this is one of the last episodes that we get to see from the series for a long time. The next episode airs almost 6 months after. The year is now 2012. It seems that they spent a lot of time working on the next episode, as there were a few fan videos where Bashur and Martin were messing around with loads of people when they were on set recording for the next Legend of Hobo episode, like this video in particular in January 2012. It was also April of that year that Variety released the now absolutely popular Minecraft game mode, Survival Games, and I'm pretty sure you know what that is. But I remember at the time watching Martin and Bashur playing a lot of survival games live on their Twitch back then, and I think I didn't mention this, but Martin and Bashur are really close even before the Minecon days, and having a relatively large cross audience. Episode 6 finally releases on the 22nd of May 2012, and it's one of their most ambitious work yet. So remember when I said they have to re-record the intro multiple times for every time they introduce a character? Yeah, they didn't do that here. Instead, the only differences between this episode's intro with the last is that they censored the Cold 2's World logo with a 2009 meme, and they have someone to do post-production audio, and it's like awkwardly put on the title screen with a different font to the other text, so I don't know. But continuing from where they left off, they now have one of the pygmy villagers with them. We have a little bit of a comedic bit at the start, but Hobo's kind of like out of character a little, being unserious for the first time, and also a self-aware joke about the series being on break for a while.
The series has been put on hold for so long, I totally forgot the storyline. Let's go!
I thought it was pretty funny. Also, there are a few jokes Hobo did when running here which like really seemed out of character for him. He always seemed like the more serious and panicky kind of guy, but he was just really unserious and joking a lot. Just a nitpick from me, I guess. Yeah. So there's a jump that they have to do, and the pygmy guy did it. Neville just falls in, and there's like an awkward bit where he has to like climb out, and then Hobo and Scott make it through the other side with the creator's help. And then Neville jumps in again. We then cut to Bron's farm, where Sheeper burned his house down. It's from one of the old skits. Only to reveal a powerful book of the dead buried under his house. So Farmer Bron reads the book, the sky starts pouring blood, and zombies start crawling out from the ground. So a bunch of zombies basically horde over to get Sheeper and Farmer Bron, and the episode basically ends there. The cinematics were absolutely incredible here, by the way, and also with the help of In the Littlewood, they were able to organize such a large number of people to act as the zombies, like mentioned in the old fan videos of them back in January. But yeah, this was basically the last episode we get to see of The Legend of Hobo. There were other side series that never really had too much going for them. There was Chupacabra Starship, which had a trailer but no actual episodes. The Legend of Build was out in October, but was just a few shorts playing as a spin-off to Legend of Hobo. So what happened to The Legend of Hobo, you may ask? Well, it was only until the end of the year, on the 6th of December, that Bashur came out with an apology video, and it really reveals a lot to us about what's been happening behind the scenes, not just with The Legend of Hobo, but also with a lot of other things.
This isn't happening, guys. We just don't have the dedicated crew for it. It's unfortunate. I wrote 2 seasons of Legend of Hobo. That's 2 years of content. Legend of Hobo should be well into production and everything, but just, life happens. We lost a composer, we lost 2 voice actors, and it's just really hard to replace those things. And the biggest thing that's hard to replace is the crew.
So in short, The Legend of Hobo basically can't work out anymore because it had lost their composer, Daniel Want, some of their other voice actors, one of them being Neville, and a lot of their dedicated crew for the series. We found out that some of the new episodes had been recorded, but without any voice actors or scoring, it couldn't really work out. There were talks about trying to get Martin in the Littlewood to voice Neville, but this was the time when Martin's channel was at its peak, meaning he was well occupied with his own projects to help out. And this is a similar situation with Chupacabra Starship, as he had trouble casting people and also finding people to help. And an even bigger revelation is about the Legend of Minecon Kickstarter that never came to be. Bashur explains that Minecon was his first interaction with people in real life in 3 years, and with social anxiety, he was rather overwhelmed by the situation, let alone being able to record a documentary. Oh, and remember Cold 2's World? When I reminded you guys. Apparently, Bashur explains that the people at Cold 2's World had taken Bashcraft team's money that they had made at Minecon and soon later filed for bankruptcy, which left the Bashcraft team unable to deliver on their Kickstarter rewards without their funds. This explains quite a bit on what happened to the intro where the Cold 2's World logo had been swapped out. But this video really shows Bashur feeling like a disappointment to his fans, despite trying his best to keep entertaining them and branching out to gaming commentaries that he himself isn't enjoying as much as doing the written cinematic series like Legend of Hobo. After releasing this apology video, a lot of fans reached out to volunteer to help make The Legend of Hobo, and after 2 weeks, this video came out. The Legend of Hobo is returning, released on December 29th of 2012. It was just a short cinematic promo video for the return of Legend of Hobo, but unfortunately, This is where the story ends. We didn't see anything follow through, and from there it was mostly Minecraft commentaries until his downfall came. Of course, I won't cover any of that in this video. This video is made to appreciate the artistry and the cultural impact that Bashur and his team had made on the Minecraft community back in the beta Minecraft days that had been unfortunately overshadowed by Bashur's own controversies, shortcomings, and his eventual downfall. I want to thank my Ko-Fi donors, Ben Person and Poodles, for supporting this series on my Ko-Fi page, and thank you for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe and check out my Twitter and Ko-Fi page for updates.